What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Mystics Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here, Wilson Turkey Jr. It's the end of Washington's trip out west. A rough ending to a tough trip. Washington's still in search of that first win. Um, Seattle in this one, they raced past Washington 101-69. Uh, as far as the Mystics, probably the worst they've shot probably all season thus far. Uh, it's not a good. It wasn't a great time for it. I think that's the safest thing to say. It just wasn't a great time for it. And great to Seattle. The first time they played Seattle, they were missing Neka Gumuke. This time, Neka did in fact play. Washington's still missing a couple key folks. No Shakira tonight. Brittany Sykes is out as well. Just rate your thoughts on this one. How it got to that point.
It's a few things. It's like a perfect storm of calamity. Like you said, it's the close out of a tough road trip. And they're missing some key pieces while they're trying to find themselves and get some continuity as a team. So it's a lot of things coming to the head at once. And of course, there's no excuse for a showing like this, but these things can happen. It is missing Shakira and Brittany Sykes is huge for them because they came into the season with Sykes pretty much being their primary ball handler and initiating the offense. Julie Van Loo's definitely stepped in and done a great job, but where they're mostly missing Sykes is on the defensive end. She sets the tempo, the pressure she puts at the point of attack. It's a glaring deficiency at the moment. I'll just leave it at that. And then playing a team with, the backcourt firepower that Seattle has. I mean, it's gonna be more glaring. But yeah, they couldn't make anything tonight. Ariel Atkins 0 for 12. That's safe to say that's her worst shooting night as a pro. And they need her to be potent offensively. Since pretty much since she's been there, her role has grown in that area every year. And yeah, she's got to find her way. She started last season off pretty tough on the offensive end as well. But eventually she found a rhythm and started to be more productive. Yeah, same thing this season. She's got to figure it out, man. I'm assuming once Brittany gets back and they get into a groove, she'll start to feel the game more and get some, just get some rhythm. But but right now she's definitely struggling. Yeah, man, it is. Seattle just came out and outplayed them. It seems like every time they see Drew Lloyd, it's problems. I mean, when most people see Drew Lloyd, it's problems. But yeah, they just ran into a buzzsaw tonight, and there wasn't much they could do about it.
Yeah, we would love to provide some in depth. Look, folks have stinkers. This is their first stinker of the year. Um, Simply put, it hurts more because they're still without a win, but just this is their first stinker. I think stat came up on the broadcast. They were second coming into this game, second in the WNBA in bench points. Like they struggled in all the areas, nearly all the areas that they've been consistent in. For the first 5 games, regardless of the result, there's things this team has done well. And even tonight, they couldn't really count on those things. Like, no, this is the first team that shot this absurd of a percentage against this team. To this point, 61% from the floor. No one's done that to them, at all. Like this, just want to make sure multiple things can be true. Good win for Seattle. Stinker for the Mystics. It was just a stinker. You look at the previous 5 games, they were in every one of those 5 games. This is the first one where it just got away from them. As you said, it just simply put, it got away from them. and they weren't able to put it back in the bottle at all. And just another thing, you mentioned Ariel's role growing over time. Some other folks with the iteration of this team, coupled with some of the injuries, folks are trying to. You're having folks step into different roles. It's not as top heavy as it once was, and you throw in the injuries into that. It's tough for anybody to kind of get a rhythm at all. That said, uh, still, I thought I've been mispronouncing her name, so I apologize to Jade. Jade Melvin is the correct way to pronounce it. Thought she was solid tonight. We've been seeing her get more and more minutes. 13 points, 3 assists off the bench tonight. But again, it's just for them as a group. Need everybody healthy and back so they can get into a flow, get the chemistry flowing. And like you mentioned, you talk about Brittany Sykes in terms of what they're missing in terms of the point of attack on defense. Also, just that burst in the half court. They miss someone that's able to create that type of space, put that type of pressure on the defense. That said, it was good seeing Nneka Gumuke healthy and playing, obviously. And for Seattle, I'm sure their fans enjoyed it. You saw you could hear their fans at the end of the broadcast as the game was winding down. This is kind of what they thought they would be seeing, when they heard about those two big names landing in the offseason. A balanced attack, 4 starters in double figures. Hell of a night from Seattle. That said, player of the game.
Oh man, crowded field. Sheesh. Man, let me flip a coin here. Let me flip a couple coins.
I got you. I'll jump in real quick.
Yeah, help me out, man, because
I got you real quick. We'll throw you a quick little lifeline real quick. It's late. It's not a problem. It's been a long road trip. I'm going with Nneka. Just you can see what her presence brings. The last time we saw these two teams play, there was a lot of stretches that just kind of scattered. Like it was just kind of scattered, right? There was some calm. There was a lot of calm to Seattle, and it has nothing. This I want to make sure this is not a knock on Diggins Smith or Jewel Lloyd at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about what Nneka brings, a former MVP, what she brings. You just the easy button, just here. It affects the defense in so many ways. Her presence, I think, opens things up for everybody else there. Ezzy had a good game the first go round. Tonight felt like things were a little bit easier for her because of who she got to play next to tonight, which is what they envisioned. But I just think her calming influence most of the night and the way that it affected Washington's defense. That's where I'm going with it, but go ahead.
Yeah, so like my train of thought was I was thinking Nneka for X Factor because she didn't play the last time. That's why I was just kind of like,
right,
what's going on here? But
there's no wrong answers.
I'm a cheat and give her both.
Okay, because I'm not gonna get mad at you for that at all.
Yeah, because she was definitely the best player for Seattle tonight as well. But yeah, it just shows, like you pointed out, what what she adds to the team. They just played them, and it was a game that was within reach for the Mystics. She comes back tonight, and and they, of course, she's not a 32-point difference, but because the Mystics had some other things going on as well, but she definitely was a reason why the game went the way it went for most of the night. So yeah, I'm doing a 2 for her. I think that might be the first one in Outlook history.
Let's make sure we memorialize this day, May 25th, before the clock it's midnight, right? But no, I think it was one of the things like when we're talking about the Mystics, it was a great example of what things look like when everything's kind of just in place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it looked like in terms of the difference when we saw Seattle a week ago versus today. And it's not to say this is the best Seattle's going to be all year. Just this is what they envisioned. Look, they shot 61% from the floor. Everything was just it was together. It looked like what it was supposed to look like. Obviously, 61% from the floor is an outlier, but look at last time Sky and Lloyd had to do a lot of lifting. Ezzy did a great job. That said, tonight everybody was kind of like, nobody hit 15, 16 attempts, anything like that. So credit to them. X Factor, you said neck for both, which I am not going to argue with you at all. I just want to give credit to Seattle's bench. I thought Sammy Whitcomb was very impactful in the minutes she had off the bench, and then Jordan Horston, I think, doesn't get a lot of credit for what she brings to that group. She kind of does a little bit of everything, but that's where I'm going with that. Washington's gonna get a couple days, then to regroup. Then they host Atlanta, which is, hey man, no walk in the park at all. Still in search of that first win. Try to get things going here. We got a comment, Area 11T. What's going on this side of things? Happy that you're watching Mystics basketball. Usually only see you for Wizards, so appreciate you popping up. Said looks like some UConn players may be on the way to DC. Let's go Page Buckets. Hey man, 6 games in. Let's. I swear, y'all be the quickest to start talking about the drafts. So quick. They just had the draft. Let's give it some time. But we'll see. But for Washington, they get to come back home and regroup, man. They try to get things together. Again, 4 to 6 games so far has been on the road. You got to do it what all teams do in professional sports, man. When it's a stinker, flush it, keep it moving. It's over with. So they making it hard not to. Brother, it is 6 games. But we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you commenting. We'll check in with y'all Wednesday night.